Hi, my name is Rachel. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm doing a book haul. I'd like to take a moment and thank today's sponsor, which is my husband's wallet. So for those of you who have been here for a while, welcome back. If you're new here, welcome. I am living in a hotel and my life is so stressful, and the only joy and serotonin I've been able to find is through spending money, unfortunately. So I have a lot of books to talk about today with you all. I have recently purchased 9 brand new books, so I am going to talk about what I got with you. Before I show you the books, I got this super cute bloody knife bookmark at Barnes & Noble, and it's funny because my friend here on BookTube, the Lit Wizard, who I will link down below if you don't know him, go check him out, but he also has this same bookmark, and I was telling him how cute I thought it was. I was like, oh my god, this is so perfect for spooky season. And then I asked him where he got it, and he was like, I don't remember, I think it was like a small bookshop or something. And then somehow I found the exact same bookmark at Barnes & Noble, so I had to buy it, obviously. So I have a mixture here of horror and fantasy. These are in no particular order, so I'm just gonna grab random books off the stack and let's get started. The first book I bought is Someone You Can Build a Nest In by John Wiswell. I don't know if this is the standard paperback. It doesn't say on it that it's a special edition, but obviously it's got sprayed edges. Also these colors, the purple and the green. This is such a good Halloween vibe. Are you kidding me? When people say Halloween, they always assume orange and black, right? But I love purple and lime green together for Halloween. Highly underrated color combo. This book is about a monster called Shisheshin who uses the bones and body parts of her victims that she eats to kind of like transform into them or into things that look like them or into monsters that have parts of them, stuff like that. And she ends up getting badly injured by some men, I think. Men. And there's a woman named Homily who ends up finding her somehow. And I think that she nurses Shisheshin back to life. And I don't know if this is queer or not, but I really think it might be. Yes, okay. Based on the synopsis, it is sapphic. And I believe that it is kind of a mistaken identities. Like Shisheshin is a monster and Homily is looking for a monster that matches Shisheshin's description, but the crime that she's being accused of, like she didn't actually do it. And so it's kind of about her, I guess, having to prove her innocence and also trying to learn how to live with a human and like live with this feeling of love that she has instead of wanting to eat her and then live inside of her body and become a monster. It sounds crazy. Like, it sounds like it wouldn't make any sense at all, but the reviews for it are fantastic, and I have high hopes for this one. I really think I'm going to enjoy it. It gives me like a kind of cozy vibe, but I don't think the story is actually cozy, but it has that kind of cozy, like romantasy-esque vibe, but it's horror. So I'm really excited to get to this one. The next book I bought is The Bone Chips by R.J. Barker. I actually have no idea what this is about. I literally bought this entirely because there was a little handmade bookmark inside of it at the bookstore by somebody who was calling themselves the Bookmark Fairy, and it was so cute and I just really wanted it, but I didn't want to take it out of the book and not buy the book that they obviously were bookmark fairying. And it says this book has been visited by the Bookmark Fairy. The Bookmark Fairy only visits the best books. So if you choose this book, you will get a great read and a nifty bookmark. Happy reading. And another reason why I wanted this one on the back is because it's like orange sparklies, which is obviously reminding me of The Life of a Showgirl. So I'm going to read the synopsis and we're going to find out together what it's about because I have no idea. For generations, the fleets of the 100 Isles have built their ships from the bones of ancient dragons to fight an endless war. Okay. The dragons disappeared, but the battles for supremacy persisted. Now the first dragon in centuries has been spotted in far-off waters, and both sides see a chance to shift the balance of power in their favor, because whoever catches it will win not only glory, but the war. I didn't know this had dragons. I'm so excited. I mean, I should have known because there's quite literally a dragon head in the corner of the cover, but I can't really tell. It kind of just looks like a sea monster. So that's exciting because, hey, if you're new here, how's it going? I love dragons. I will say, when I found this cute little bookmark in the book, I quickly posted on Discord the bone chips, yes or no. like make it snappy. I don't have time. And like 4 or 5 of my bookish friends immediately were like, yes, absolutely. So needless to say, I'm easily influenced by someone's cute bookmark and all of my friends being like, yes, it's great. You should read it. The next book I got is actually a brand new release, and it just came out yesterday on September 16th when I went to the bookstore, and that is The Fairy Morgana by Louisa Morgan. I don't know much about this. I just know that it's Arthurian, so let's read the synopsis. Oh, the font is huge. Love that for my blind ass. I haven't heard about this literally at all until Tuesday morning. I saw a post about it on Instagram, and I sent it to my friend because she loves Arthurian stuff. And I was like, oh my God, look at this beautiful book. It's Arthurian. And then I went to the bookstore and saw it in person. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to buy it. So let's read the synopsis together because, again, I don't know what it's about other than that it's Arthurian, which I also love. To the guardians of the great sword, Morgana is haughty and arrogant as she deploys magic far more powerful than any human should be capable of. Rumors spread that she must be a fearsome fae. To Guinevere, wife of King Arthur, Morgana's position as the king's most trusted advisor makes her a rival. She insists Morgana is a malevolent witch. But to Braith, Morgana's faithful acolyte, she is simply the most powerful priestess Camelot has ever seen. Morgana is unconcerned with these opinions. She has devoted her life to serving the king and the people of Camelot, which is spelled differently, by the way. I'm not pronouncing it wrong. It's Camulod. So instead of Camelot, it's Camelot. But when she aids Arthur in ascending the throne before his time, she sets off a series of events that will change both the future of Camelot and everything Morgana believes about her power. Oh, that sounds great. Also, I haven't read a lot of Arthurian retellings. I have read the Crystal Cave Saga. Is that what it's called? I'll put a picture of it here. I have read the Crystal Cave Saga by Mary Stewart, and those are very like old style writing, like very traditional fantasy, although I did actually really love those 4 books, and it's been quite a while since I've read anything Arthurian, although I did read Legendborn, but that's very loosely Arthurian and very modern, so I'm really excited to get to this one, and especially it being from Morgana's POV, because I feel like a lot of retellings are either from Arthur, Guinevere, or what the fuck is his name? The wizard, what's his name? Oh my God, I'm having a brain fart. It's on the tip of my tongue. What's his fucking name? Merlin. Or from Merlin's POV. The next book I'm going to talk about is purely a cover buy. I have not heard of this book and I have not heard of this author, but when I saw this book staring at me from the shelf, I was like, it's beautiful. So I picked it up, and yeah, that book is The Dragon Wakes with Thunder by KX Song. Just look at this beautiful cover, and the edges, stunning. And then underneath, end papers match the edges, which is crazy. And then even the naked hardback, just beautiful. Like, what do you mean? That's so pretty. The cream with the green foiling. Oh, and it says the dragon does not act alone. I don't know what that means, but I'm so excited to find out. Okay, and in case you're like me and you've never heard of this gorgeous book, I'm going to read you the synopsis. Oh my God, I've just... Okay, wait, I lied. I'm not gonna read you the synopsis because I've just found out that this is a sequel. It says, the explosive sequel to the New York Times bestseller, The Night Ends with Fire. I was so blinded by the beauty of this book at Barnes & Noble. I didn't even notice it was a book 2. There's no 2 on the spine. Shame on you, publisher. Let me look. I don't want to spoil myself since this is apparently a sequel. Oh, it's only a duology. Okay, that's promising. The Night Ends with Fire. I'll put a picture of The Night Ends with Fire here. And yeah, I guess I'll be buying that first. I hope I can find the matching one because this is so beautiful. It's also like the most square book I've ever seen in my life. Look at the spine. It's beautiful. Ace Publishing. Great quality book you've got here. Too bad I can't read it until I buy the first one. Whoops. The next book I bought is Sword Heart by T. Kingfisher. This is the new cover with the sprayed edges. I have been intrigued by this book for quite a long time, but I absolutely hated that old cover. Like, no offense, T. Kingfisher, that old cover was really boring. Very grayscale and monotone, and it didn't make me want to read your story. I'm sorry, but this one is such a good improvement. Hala has unexpectedly inherited the estate of a wealthy uncle. Oh, I wish that would happen to me. Unfortunately, she's also saddled with money-hungry relatives full of devious plans for how to wrest the inheritance away from her. While locked in her bedroom, Hala inspects the ancient sword that's been collecting dust on the wall since before she moved in. Out of desperation, she unsheaths it, and suddenly a man appears. His name is Sarkis. He tells her, and he is an immortal warrior trapped in a prison of enchanted steel. Sarkis is sworn to protect whoever wields the sword, and for Hala, a most unusual wielder, he finds himself not fending off grand armies and deadly assassins, but instead everything from kindly seeming bandits to roving inquisitors to her own in-laws. But as Hala and Sarkis grow closer, they overlook the biggest threat of all, the sword itself. I think this is a romance, right? But it just said something about her in-laws. I really hope that her husband or, spouse died and that this isn't like a cheating story. That would really suck. But I am really happy to have this. I am so obsessed with this cover. It's beautiful, much nicer than the old one, like I said. Oh, it says love is a double-edged sword. Really cute. I loved the House with Good Bones when I read that in October last year, which was my first T. Kingfisher book. So I'm really excited to explore more of her work. The next book I bought is The Deep by Rivers Solomon. This was actually the runner-up in my Reddit recommends vlog that I did a while back, so I'll link that down below. But this one is about Mer people, and they are the descendants of slaves, I believe. Yetu holds the memories for her people, and her people, the Wajinru, descendants of pregnant African slave women thrown overboard by their owners, live idyllic lives in the deep. Their past, too painful to be remembered regularly, is forgotten by everyone except one. The memories, harrowing and wonderful, traumatic and terrible, are destroying Yetu, and she flees to the surface, escaping her expectations and responsibilities, and discovers a world the Wajinru left behind. This book, when I read the first chapter of this for the Reddit Rex vlog, when I was trying to pick which book to read, the first chapter reminded me a lot of The Giver, not like word for word or anything like that, just kind of the idea that there is a single person responsible for remembering histories of these people. Like in The Giver, they kind of remember all of the bad things that they've been through and everyone else forgets so they can live in this utopia. And I guess that is kind of a similar theme here. Yetu is remembering all of the trauma and the history of how the Wajinru came to be and where they came from and stuff like that. So it is a similar concept, but obviously this one is with Mer people and it has to deal with slaves. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of great discussions in here. There's going to be themes of slavery and consequences of that, generational trauma. And it says Yetu flees to the surface. So I'm sure that it's going to be this situation where she thinks maybe the grass is greener on the other side, but then she learns that it's not. That's just my assumption. I haven't read it yet, obviously. It is a lot shorter than I thought it was going to be, actually. It's only 155 pages. I am really excited to read this one. I think there's also book club discussion questions in the back here. So this might be a good one to do with my book club perhaps, because I think that this would generate a lot of great conversation. So I don't know if I'll read this one on my own yet or if I'll save it for the reading realm, but let me know. Should we buddy read this? Let me know in the comments, and then I'll decide based on if anyone has interest in buddy reading it with me. The next two books I have are both by Nat Cassidy. This portion of my book haul is entirely inspired by Riley from Riley Marie. I have When the Wolf Comes Home and Mary. I don't want to know too much about these books, but as far as I know, Mary is kind of this story about an older woman named Mary who is going through menopause maybe, but I think that things are happening to her and no one believes her. I guess I'll read the synopsis. It's very short. I really hope that it doesn't give too much away. It says, Mary is a quiet, middle-aged woman doing her best to blend into the background, unremarkable, invisible, unknown even to herself. But lately, things have been changing inside Mary, along with the hot flashes and body aches. She can't look in a mirror without passing out, and the voices in her head have been urging her to do unspeakable things. Fired from her job in New York, she moves back to her hometown, hoping to reconnect with her past and inner self. Instead, visions of terrifying mutilated specters overwhelm her with increasing regularity, and she begins auto-writing strange thoughts and phrases. Mary discovers that these experiences are echoes of an infamous serial killer. Then the killings begin again. Mary's definitely going to find herself? What the fuck? Okay, that sounds so good. I think that Riley said this was her favorite book of 2024. And she just recently read When the Wolf Comes Home and she gave it 5 stars. And she said that this one is like so fast paced, so wild, and like just so much shit happens right away. This one says, one night, Jess, a struggling actress, finds a 5-year-old runaway hiding in the bushes outside her apartment. After a violent, bloody encounter with the boy's father, she and the boy find themselves running for their lives. As they attempt to evade the boy's increasingly desperate father, horrifying incidents of butchery follow them. At first, Jess thinks she understands what they're up against, but she's about to learn that there's more to these surreal and grisly events than she could ever imagine. And that when the wolf finally comes home, no one will be spared. That is so vague. Like, it basically just means they're running from the dad and then shit's happening. But like, what kind of shit? Oh my God. Something I think is so funny about this book is that there are parts, and part 1 is called All Dads Are Motherfuckers. That's so I really want to read this soon. I think I'm going to read this one in October. I was kind of torn between like which one to start first because I think that they both sound so good, but Mary is a little bit thicker, and I think that this one is more of like a slow, character driven psychological horror. I mean, I'm sure horror things are still happening as well, but again, it is character driven, whereas I think this one is more action plot driven, if you will. So I'm super excited to read each of these books, even though they do sound like so different, which is good because that means he's not just like a one trick pony, you know? And last but certainly not least, I have Catabasis by R.F. Kuang. I got the Waterstones signed edition. It has these super cool stenciled edges, which I love, 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 love. Also love this version of the cover. End papers are cool. I don't love the yellow, but it's fine. I like the pictures inside the checker. And then here's my signature. I don't know much about this one. I just know that it's kind of academic and the main character tries to descend to hell while they're still alive. Grad student Alice Law has only ever had one goal: to become the brightest mind in the field of analytic magic. Ooh. But the only person who can make her dream come true is dead and, inconveniently, in hell. And Alice, along with her biggest rival Peter Murdoch, is going after him. But hell is not as the philosophers claim. Its rules are upside down, and if she's going to get out of there alive, she and Peter will have to work together. If they can agree on anything. Will they triumph or kill each other trying? Ooh, this sounds so good. I have read everything that Miss Rebecca Kuang has written, and I have loved everything that she has written. I obviously read The Poppy War first. I read it as it was coming out, and I think those books are so good. The Poppy War itself was her debut novel, and the follow-ups were her sophomore and junior like novels. And I just think that she gets better and better and better and better every book. And then Babel came out and that was fantastic. And then Yellowface came out and that was fantastic. And I just love that she's able to switch genres and switch writing styles and really just lean heavily into like magic or lean heavily into like a theme that she's going for. And I just think that she's so talented. Can't wait to read this one. This one has had a lot of mixed reviews though. I will say a lot of R.F. Kuang fans are not loving this one, but I don't know. This sounds right up my alley. And I think I'm going to like it. She hasn't let me down yet. I'm hopefully optimistic that I'm going to love this one. Those are the 9, soon to be 10, because I didn't know that one was a sequel, books that I've hauled recently. If you've read any of these down below, please let me know. I want to know if you liked them, if you didn't like them, should I be wary of any of these? And if you've made it this far in the video, leave a knife emoji down in the comments and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Don't fall. That was dangerous.